Hello everyone, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Russian today, Russian grammar specifically, because Felix asked me to make this video. You can check, if you don't know who he is, his name is Loki, his YouTube name, and I'll try to put a link down in the description. And if you haven't seen it, his videos are very inspiring. He speaks a ton of foreign languages, some of the European ones, Middle Eastern, Asian. Very inspiring individual who I respect a lot. And he wanted to know a little bit more about Russian grammar, because Russian grammar is crazy, it's complicated. And you may be thinking to yourself, but David, you can't do a Russian grammar video in 10, 15 minutes. And you're right. It's not enough time. Russian grammar is too complicated. But I just want to give the basics to kind of demystify it, so you no longer see it as too complicated, but you see the beauty in its complexity. And that, for instance, in Spanish or Italian, a lot of things end in O or A, which can give it a certain, and it has a certain rhythm, and you can make it rhyme easily. It's like it gives it a certain beauty. And I think Russian's complexity, you have those words that end in the same sounds. On top of that, the sentences are more flexible. My Russian teacher would say, let me see my Russian accent. Russian, it is a free language, not always a free country. So what she meant by that is that you really, whatever the subject is, whatever the direct object, indirect object, you can put them anywhere in any order you want. You know the difference and what the sentence means by the endings on each noun. And I'm getting a phone call. I'm not going to answer it. So that is how you know what the sentence really means. So you could say, Paul killed Peter, or Peter killed Paul. Who's killing who depends on the end of the phrase. Usually they just say in the same order we say it in English, but you can, for whatever reason, emphasis, change it around. Completely legitimate in Russian. In that case, you would just add an A, whoever is receiving the action at the end. So say Paul's the one getting killed. You would say Peter ubil, killed Paula. So, but in general, there's three. I'm just going to go over the very basics. I'm not going into details of Russian grammar. So you have a kind of basic idea how it works. So there's three genders: masculine, neuter, and feminine. So masculine ends in it's easier than German to know what's masculine, feminine, or female. Masculine, feminine. Masculine ends in consonants. Just think of it that way. Neuter ends in O, so anything that looks like an O, or Y, so it looks like an English E. Anything that ends in that, like akno, morje, you know those are neuter. Ivan, N consonant, stol, it's an L, table, those are going to be masculine. And those two are generally decline, so in the case system, they decline the same way. I say generally because there are some differences once in a while. And then but you can generally think of those two classes as one. And then feminine, there's two different endings. There's Anna, or stancia, station, or Anna. Anna is she, Anna is Anna. Stancia with the ya sign, that's going to be, that's like the backwards R, so that's also feminine. Also, if you have some words with a soft sign at the end, most of them are feminine. So noch, that miyaki snak is that little 6. It's not an actual sound, it just softens the letter that becomes before it. Mats, that's mother, so they're feminine. Adjectives, so you can see krasny, that means red. Everything's red in Russian. Krasnaya ploshchad. It actually comes from the word krasivaya. It's an old word for krasivaya, which is krasivi, which is beautiful, handsome. And so krasnaya ploshchad is the red square. Ploshchad has a soft sign at the end. So it's feminine, krasnaya. You can see the aya, feminine, just like up here. Krasny, masculine, krasnoya, So you see those two O, E, just like up Akno Moria, Krasnoye Moria, the Red Sea. And then to make things plural, you add, neuter's different. You add an A, so it would be Akna would be plural, or Moria. For masculine and feminine, it's just you add an E sound, because that 6 with a line after it, that's E. It's kind of a sound that doesn't exist in English. And then yeah, so Krasnia, plural. Stali, that would be tables. Stanci, that would be stations. So there are also, as I mentioned, there are 6 different cases in Russian. So nominative, right there. So that's going to be the main subject. Accusative, direct object. So that's when I mentioned if it's masculine and it's a person, like I mentioned before, Paul was being killed by Peter. I said Paula. There's an A at the end. If it's an inanimate object, masculine, neuter, nothing, doesn't change. Feminine, the A goes to U. So it would be, say, Anu, yet я люблю Annu. So I love Anna in that case. Dative, indirect object. Я пишу Anya. So it's the Y sound at the end in this case. So I'm writing to Anna. Я пишу Ivanu. So in this case, the U sound in masculine, it means it's an indirect object. Genitive is if it's possessive. Also a lot of different pronouns, like for, if it's from this time to a certain time, from something, it's going to be genitive case. You just have to memorize the pronouns, which sounds complicated, but you get it just having lots of exposure to the language. You pick up on that really fast, actually. I feel like just a lot of reading, a lot of listening, you'll pick those up. But it's, for instance, it's my tables, so it's the David's table. Still Davida. So just like with the accusative in masculine, you just add an A at the end. For feminine, you add an E sound, so still Anli. Instrumental, that is with something. So я ем ложкой. I'm eating with a spoon. Or you can say literally with something, like I'm going, я иду with David, с Davidom. So that's for masculine, с Anoi. You say oi in that case for female. And prepositional, it's just a y sound at the end. So about Anna, a Anya. Or also in or on. So the other name is the locative case. And so the mashinya, inside the car, the mashinya. Or na stole, on the table. So na is N-A, which is like the H-looking thing is an N. So at the end of Anna, you can kind of see na on top of. And just the V, Ivan, so that standing alone, is in. So that's pretty much all of, and also the adjective declines as well. So the adjective and the noun declines. So that's where you have to just start memorizing. And the plural is different than the singular. That's why people say Russian grammar is so hard. It's because of the nouns. That's it. The rest of Russian grammar, you can get over. The declension system does take some time and getting used to. I've been drilled a lot on it. I practiced, I studied the charts, and then I practiced speaking. I listen a lot. I don't think you can learn Russian grammar without putting some of the time, sitting down, going through. People disagree. Steve Kaufman, I love his videos. I think he's very helpful. I disagree with him. I think you need to go through this and write all the things out, all the exceptions, because there are many exceptions out, a lot. And you'll still might make some mistakes, but you'll reduce them greatly. And that's the most complicated part of learning Russian. Verbs, easy. Читать, to write. Past tense, if you're male, читал. For female, читала. For plural, читали. The consonant ending, that's masculine. A is the feminine. E is plural. Well, I guess there's one other thing that the verbs, as with other Slavic languages, there's imperfect and perfect verbs of everything. So like говорить, я говорю, that's I'm talking. It's imperfect. It's going on. That's the imperfect. But the perfective would be сказать. So я скажу will be I will say, because it's a one-time action. It's not repeated.